Hello guys, today I'll be reviewing the new Def Leppard album, Diamond Star Halos, and it's been a while since we've gotten an album from these guys. The last time I heard from them was back in 2015 with this album, the self-titled, which I still think is a pretty good album. I did re-listen to some of the songs on here, and I still think there's some pretty solid stuff like Dangerous and Sea of Love, All Time High, and Wings of an Angel, just to name a few songs. But yeah, overall, still a pretty good album, I'd say. But now I have this new Def Leppard album, so let's go ahead and dive into it. Now, usually with my reviews, I go track by track, but kind of like with my review of the latest Red Hot Chili Peppers album, I decided to approach this review a little bit differently. I'm going to talk about some of my favorite songs and some of my least favorites, and then pretty much go from there. So let's go ahead and start off with my favorites. Take What You Want, definitely one of my favorites. For me, a good balance of older Def Leppard and more modern Def Leppard. I can definitely hear the self-titled a little bit in this song, but I can also again hear some of the older stuff in here in this song. But the song also, to me, has a catchy, memorable chorus, and all that I just said just now, I can pretty much say the same thing with the next song, Kick, which is another favorite of mine on here. And also with Kick, I could see this song going well live, definitely, especially with getting people to sing along. And overall, a pretty solid anthemic rocker from Def Leppard, I'd say. But another favorite of mine on here is SOS Emergency. And yeah, you can make the argument that this song is maybe standard Def Leppard, but at the same time, probably still one of the highlights for me on the album. What really pulls me to the song is especially the guitar, and overall I think it has a pretty solid chorus. But another favorite of mine is From Here to Eternity, and what stands out the most to me with the song is definitely the melody. The melody definitely pulls me into the song, and the chorus, pretty dang good. Maybe one of my favorite choruses on the album. I just really dig the soaring vocals over the nice guitar, and I'm definitely curious of what Def Leppard's fans will say about this song especially, but overall I think it's a strong way to close off the album. But yeah, those are some of my favorites. Let's go ahead and talk about some of my least favorites on here. Let's first talk about this guitar featuring Alison Krauss. Now, I've heard her music before. I've heard some of her songs, and her music isn't really for me, but yeah, this song, and I'm not surprised by this, but this song just didn't really do a whole lot for me. But I did think the song Lifeless, which also has her in the song, I did kind of like that song a little bit, but there are some things about that song that I don't really care for, like the verses didn't do a whole lot for me. But again, I really dig the chorus in Lifeless, and I also think the song has a pretty solid solo. But Lifeless, for me, one of the better songs on the album. I don't know if I'd go as far to say that's one of my favorites, but still a solid song. But for me, another least favorite on the album for me has to be Unbreakable. Basically just because it's kind of a filler song in my opinion, or it feels kind of like filler. One of the more average songs on the album, I'd say. And I also say the same thing for All We Need. Again, kind of filler, kind of average. And Open Your Eyes is probably another contender for maybe being one of my least favorites. I do like it a little bit more than All We Need, but I just don't see myself going back to this song very much, especially compared to some of the other songs on the album. But yeah, those are some of my least favorites on the album. Oh, another least favorite I do want to mention is Angels Can't Help You Now. One of the ballads, it just kind of went from one ear and out the other. I mean, it's by no means a bad song. It's not terrible. It's just kind of, in my opinion, one of the weaker ballads I've heard from them. But yeah, again, those are some of my least favorites. But there are a few other songs that I do want to talk about, such as Fire It Up, which was the third single, and the song definitely has plenty of hookiness to it. And again, this might be a fun song to hear live potentially, but for me, it's probably my least favorite of the singles. For me, it just didn't do a whole lot for me. Again, not bad, but kind of just so-so/average. But another song I do want to talk about is You Rock Me, and With this song, I hear a little bit of folkiness, such as how the song starts, leading into the first verse. I definitely hear a little bit of folk influence, a little bit. Maybe that's what they were going for, but I found that to be kind of interesting. But then you have the chorus, which is a bit more guitar driven, and overall, I dig the guitar in the chorus, but ultimately, at the end of the day, the chorus is kind of mid for me, kind of average. But one other song I do want to talk about is Goodbye for Good This Time. So this is one of the ballads on the album, and I'm honestly not sure how to feel about it. A part of me likes it, but a part of me is kind of on the fence about it. But musically, a pretty intriguing song. There are things to like about the song, but honestly, I'm still not sure about how I feel about it. So that's probably one of the songs that I'll have to go back to a bit more just to see about whether or not I'm truly into it. But yeah, overall, this album, kind of a mixed bag for me. There are songs I like, songs that are kind of just average to filler, in my opinion. And then you also have your songs that I think are honestly kind of skippable. For me, this album could have benefited from some trimming, and overall, to be honest, I don't think this album is as strong as the previous album, the self-titled. But even with saying that, I still think there is some stuff on here that I think is still worth checking out, outside of the singles. But yeah, overall, kind of a mixed bag of an album for me. But if I had to give this album a rating, now of course my rating could change at any time, but as of now I'll go ahead and give it a 7. Not a bad album. Overall, I'd say it's a good album, but I wouldn't say that it's great or amazing. But yeah, there's some stuff to like with the album, even though I wouldn't say that's one of their best in general. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on the album. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or are you more towards the middle, kind of like with me? Let me know some of your favorite or least favorite songs on here and all that good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Leave a comment and a like, subscribe. Have a nice day and take care.